Y'all, it's the eve of my birthday. I've been 33 for 366 days. And I waited until the day before to do my testimony. I've been trying to do this all year. All year last year, we had the whole quarantine. I've remodeled my house. I've just done everything except this. Sorry for the wait. It's 7:50. The day before my birthday. Ooh, my phone is dirty. The day before my birthday. And I just come here to tell my story. So, just like everyone else, I have a lot of issues. I know people look at me as if I'm like this individual that's holier than thou. As soon as they hear that I'm a virgin, they be like, "Oh girl, you everybody ain't able," or say something like that. I don't know. They draw their own little conclusions or whatever. But I can say that I've been through a lot, and for whatever reason it doesn't look like it. I've starting in the beginning. I grew up for 5 years, almost 5 years, solo, as the only kid with my mom, in the projects. Yep, Z grew up in the projects, and those were some of my most amazing memories. But when my mom got sick, or she started getting sick, that's when I spent more time with my grandma, and my grandma was always at work. So that left me exposed to the world and whatever it had at a very young age. So I had an uncle who used to, he had an addiction to pornography, and he used to babysit like all the kids, like all of them. And he'd be watching the porn while we were in the room or in the house. He may have us like in timeout or something in the corner or something like that, and all you hear is the porn going off. And just like most children at that developmental age, people tried stuff, and I was one of the, I don't know how frequent it was amongst the family, but things were tried. And I can say my innocence was taken away by the age of 3. And that changed my life immensely. Therefore, by the age of 5, when our guidance counselor came in and talked about good touch, bad touch, like she had the little doll that showed the areas where no one's supposed to touch you. And it was like at that age that I realized what had happened at a young age was not supposed to happen. And I at 5 vowed not to give myself away to anyone. Like I wouldn't let anyone violate me anymore. And by that age, I think my whole phase was from 3 to 5. Unfortunately, like I was just a little hot pocket. Yep. I was a kid that was always, don't stop, pop that coochie. That was me. Like I knew all of the freaky dances. And to this day, I wonder, I knew it was part of the culture, but I was wondering why no one knew that I was projecting these sexual movements or characteristics. And I was like, maybe they saw it or they preferred to not acknowledge it or what. I'm not completely sure. And by the age of 8, I was masturbating and trying to prevent myself from going into this realm where it's that could not be closed. because I learned early at 5. I had an amazing guidance counselor at in elementary school. At a young age, told us what was good and what was bad, or what was good and what was bad. And in those moments of temptation or what have you, I was always reminded of that. And as I got older, like growing up in church or what have you, the freakiest people in the world are at the church, Lord Jesus. I've been tried there. I've been tried with family. I've been tried with friends. In the neighborhood, like it's just been exposed to a lot. And I feel like a lot of people in the Black community itself have unfortunately learned to censor, to shut down any family secrets or any secrets within their household, and they shut down any opportunity to give those individuals who've encountered some type of harm or whatever it is. It could be getting beat with sticks and switches and extension cords. Like everybody see it as normal, but it's not. But in that environment of the Black community or households, and I won't say all, but a lot, especially those impoverished homes, we learn to conceal hurt and pain, and nothing is ever shared. And then those individuals grow up with maladaptive coping mechanisms, and it creates a perpetual energy throughout our society, unfortunately. But going back to childhood, after experiencing that, I lived like a very awkward type of raising. Like they raised, like I was raised, but then again, I was like the caretaker myself. At 4 or 5, my mom began getting ill with, very, very sick with kidney failure. So again, a lot happened in my childhood. At the age of 5, after discovering that everything in the beginning of my life up until 5 years old was like wrong and should not have been happening, I found myself with a mother who was diagnosed with kidney failure and who was dying, and also pregnant with my little brother. And like I was watching her die. Like it was just, we were always in the hospital. My earliest memories were in the hospital. And my stepdad, who at the time seemed like, I don't know, our relationship never was like, I don't know if it was good or bad, but I just know he just used to beat the hell out of me all the time with this big ass leather belt, and with his name on it. And I used to get beat for everything, like everything. Whips. Later on, found out that was child abuse. I was like, ain't nobody see none of these big ass whips on my arm or whatever. But whatever. It made me stronger. And he disappeared while mom was sick and after the birth of my little brother. And later on, I found out like he couldn't take that his new bride and new child were like sick or something. Like I'm not sure what happened, but I try to see it from his perspective, even though he left me in a position where I had to become an adult at a young age. And with the tools that my mom taught me at the age of 2 in the projects, baking and just learning from observation, I would take care of my mom and my little brother by myself at 5. The house probably be tore the hell up. I can say that like she got some food. Like I knew how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. I knew how to bake muffins or what have you. I learned how to change diapers at a super young age because I learned from observing or watching. And I just did what I had to do at a young age. So I became a caretaker super, super young. And as we continue to grow up like we do, and time passed, I learned that my little brother had like, he had autism, and that pushed my stepdad either further away. Like I tried to put myself in his position or in his mindset, because like his new bride was sick and his son had autism, and I guess it was just too much for him. It was overwhelming. And again, I still find myself in a position of being a caregiver, caretaker, however you want to say it. And like I just lived a life, well, a childhood of neglect because all the focus was on my mom, and or my little brother, because they needed it. But I can say, observing all of these things and like just taking in like all the things that they went through, it was ironically not as difficult to handle as it should be for a child. Like, as if people say like you're graced for certain things, you really are, because I've seen adults not be able to do what I did as a child. And no, I'm not bragging, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but yeah, like I was just looking back and reflecting, like I'm surprised as to how strong I was at that time. And like people probably didn't even know it. Like I was bullied because my mom was sick, pops was gone. Clothes, all the clothes came from thrift stores or from garage sales. Like I remember waking up every morning on Saturdays, having looked at the newspapers the night before, circled the descriptions in the newspapers that we felt like would better serve us at the moment or at the time, and go to those garage sales and get suited and booted, and then go to school and get checked because they weren't new. My first pair of name brand shoes was Felines in the 4th grade. From then on, like, it was terrible. Like, it was bad. And a lot of people probably didn't know what was going on. Yeah, they didn't know I was taking care of a sick mom and a little brother that had autism, and tried to teach him how to talk. And I did. Like, I taught my little brother how to snitch on me. Like, I had to know that he knew how to tell on someone if someone was doing something wrong to him. And for whatever odd reason, I was the only person that understood what he was saying. And if he needed something, whether it was like a tick or a sound or whatever it was, for whatever reason, and I know it's God, I knew what he was saying. And praise God, like, he is so much better. He has graduated from high school with honors. He graduated from college, and my little brother out in these streets being a grown-up. So anybody who feel like their child who has autism, like they're supposed to live a life of constant surveillance, or like they have to take care of their child for the rest of their lives because they can't be independent, I would say remain faithful and treat them as humans. Like, I know that sounds weird, but for whatever reason, individuals who are disabled, we tend to treat them a little differently, which makes sense because depending on the disability, they may need that special attention. But for the most part, isolation, like putting them in different environments to isolate them, is not good. Like, I never treated my little brother like something was wrong with him. I talked to him like I'm talking to you all right now. And again, like, I would listen to him talk to himself or watch him do like the random things that he did having autism. He used to always take some sticks and do stuff, or he just, I don't know, he just did interesting things. And I don't know, I'm just proud of him. I'm trying not to cry. Talking about my little brother. I'm proud of him. Hold up. Okay. Try not to cry. But I be crying. Okay. They're falling. Okay. Well, continuing on. I tried to tell my story without crying. Okay. Whew. Well, since growing up, and observing my little brother's progress and my mom's progress, I would say maybe by 16, my mom had gotten a kidney. Little brother was in regular school, and from 5 to 16, everything was normal. And then it started getting interesting again. My mom wanted to move to Memphis for the better housing market. I'm not sure if I'm using the right jargon, but she was a real estate agent, still is. She was a real estate agent in Jackson, and she just wanted to go where more business was. And bless her heart, whenever she tries to advance or do something more, she finds herself ill, and I'll just watch her get so angry and not being, I'm gonna cry again. She'll get so angry at not being able to, don't cry, see, be the mother that she's always wanted to be. But I saw it, but the way that it manifested is that she was angry at us. It's almost like, oh, I wish I could take care of y'all, but I always keep finding myself in the position where my children are taking care of me and I don't like it. And it's like a snappy attitude, but it's like displaced anger. And we were the recipients of that displaced anger, unfortunately. We suffered verbal abuse and some physical abuse out of displaced anger. But I mean, we came out of it. I'm going through counseling to get over that stuff. But eventually I got to a place where I saw where her hurt and pain came from. So I was able to forgive her, what have you. And at 16, she found herself sick again. Like I was literally watching my mom die. She had reached the point where she had gotten super skinny. She had turned the grayish brown color, and like she was finna dip. By the age of 18, like I was preparing to bury my mom. And that last semester of my 12th grade year, that last semester of my 12th grade year, like it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I even missed like 6 months out of my second semester of my 12th grade year. It was bad. So from 16 to 17, I was paying all the bills. I was paying the house note. Like I said, we had moved to from Jackson, Tennessee to Memphis. I was paying the mortgage in Jackson. I was paying the rent in Memphis. I was paying her car note and all the other bills. I was working 12-hour shifts. I was going to school in Memphis. East High School. Man, I would be knocked out in class, y'all. Like, knocked out. Matter of fact, when I would wake up, sometimes my teachers would let me go to sleep. And I would wake up and it'd be like almost time for us to go. But they would let me go to sleep because once they gave me the syllabus at the beginning of the semester, I'll do all my work. I would, in one day or one night or a series of nights, I will, maybe the weekend, I will look at the syllabus, look at all my work, and I will sit there and do all of it at one time. And I have my binder set and complete. So if I went to sleep, it was nothing. I just turned in my work. I was just that organized. And like it was, to this day, I'm like, how did I do that? Like, grace for it. 16? Like, I didn't even know Memphis had a curfew for whatever reason. I was at 17, I was working at IHOP. That's how I made all my money. I was working at IHOP. And that's when I guess folks was really tipping back in the day, because I made almost $1,000 a week, or that was just God blessing me. That's when, what is it, level 2 was still open, and people would come to IHOP after the club. Y'all, I was 17 working there. Like, had no problem. Nobody tried to shoot up the place while I was working there. Like, I had no problem at all. Like, some of the best times of my life was working 12-hour shifts overnight between 16 and 17. I was tried and tested, yo. But fast forward back to high school. By my near graduation, I almost didn't graduate because I just knew my mom was going to die. Like, for whatever reason, I fasted, I prayed, I did everything. Like, I prayed. I fasted for 21 days. And when I say fasted, I fasted. Like, I did not eat for 21 days. No food. That's how serious I was. I've always been very spiritual, always sought the face of God whenever I was going through trials and tribulations. No matter how often I got mad at him for putting me in situations or allowing situations to happen to me, to, like, I don't know, I guess it was to grow me or push me to wherever he's taking me, because I still don't know. But yeah, I fasted for 21 days with no problem, and continued to go to work, continued to go to school. By then I was in college. I was at Lemoyne, and going through it. And as a matter of fact, I think that was around that time that I fainted. I fainted beside my car. And somebody found me. I don't remember. I think it was a young lady who contacted me like years later. She was like, I remember when I found you beside your car and you had fainted. And I was like, dang, yeah. Y'all, the struggle was real growing up. That's probably why I stayed to myself so much, and why I had an issue with making friends, because I was always about the business and didn't trust anyone, because I mean, family seemed to not have been there, so I didn't trust anyone else would be there. And yeah, here we are. But I just thank God for how far he's brought me, and I'm glad that, like, despite all of the things that I've gone through growing up, I never allowed the enemy to draw me away from him. Yeah, because I've overcome a lot. And bless the dean's heart. She used to always be worried about me because I would, like, sometimes lose a whole bunch of weight, and she would see sorrow in my eyes, or she'll look into my eyes, and things had, like, my eyes are already big. So if I get bags under my eyes, of course, like, they're gonna be noticeable. And she was like, baby girl, are you depressed? And I just denied. I was like, no, I'm not depressed, I'm good. And that was just the maladaptive behavior that I grew up with. Like, just lie and keep pushing. Like, I'm good. Don't worry about me. And that continued. But by 2008, I think I don't know what grade I was in. Not grade, but what year I was in college. But it was 2008. And my mom got her second kidney, which is not normal. Like, it's people who are on the donor list forever. They will pass away before they get one. And then my mom was blessed with two. And I don't know, she say some hurtful things. The first day I went to go see her, I was so excited. Like, so excited that I didn't. Let's go back. Because I wanted my mom to live, I had prepared myself to give my mom my kidney. But I was afraid because of like the mean things she said before. Like, I've sacrificed so much of my youth for her, and she never seemed to appreciate it. And it's not, now I know it's like, not that she didn't appreciate it, it's just that she didn't want to be in that position. But the way that it manifested, it was, I just felt like she was very ungrateful. But I was preparing to give her my kidney, and like, when I say it had to been days or months before I went through the process to prepare to give her my kidney, like for me to check my blood type to make sure I was healthy enough, because they didn't want me to give a kidney because I had yet to have kids. Lo and behold, years later, I still ain't had kids. But anywho, they didn't want me to give her a kidney because I have yet to have kids or what have you. And they didn't want me to affect my body before I was able to, fully develop or what have you. And again, in the back of my mind, I was like, my mom has been so ungrateful these years. I really don't want to give her a kidney. So when we found out a cadaver kidney or cadaver donor was available, I was excited. So let's go back to the hospital. Y'all, again, I was super excited to know that my mom was still alive, to know that my mom was going to see me graduate from college, to know that my mom was still going to be around when I got married. Still hasn't happened yet, but my mom's still here. Or when I had kids. And the first thing my mama said to me was, I said, "Hey, Mom." It stuck with me. "Hey, Mom." She said, "You didn't love me enough to give me your kidney." That's why I didn't want to give you my kidney in the first place. Because it's like, in my head, that's what I said. But I was like, dang, like, how ungrateful do you have to be to have gotten a kidney? Shouldn't you be happy? Like, the first thing that you say to your child who's preparing to give you your kidney, that you didn't love them enough to give you your kidney? Like, what? What? After sacrificing, did I not tell y'all that I like, it was sports that I stopped playing to take care of my mom because I had to work. Sports. I love track. I had made the basketball team. I had made the track and basketball team at East. In those same years, some folks went to state. Sacrifice. Me. And she said that. That hurt my feelings so bad. Hurt my feelings so bad. That I was like, dang, like, I never felt appreciated. And unfortunately, those moments put me in a mindset that no one really cares about me. It didn't matter who it was. They could show it with every element of themselves that they cared, but I would never believe it because I never saw it in my family or my mom. And I guess I always wanted my mom to show that. I had my own expectations as to how I wanted my mom to express her love to me, and she never did. So with that, I carried into all my other relationships, and it was bad. Like, I never trusted people. I've actually told friends, I was like, I was like, I never trust you, like to their faces. I'm not even sure why they remain friends with me, but they remain friends. I was terrible at one point, like terrible. The way that I acted out in my pain and hurt, so much so that I even like pushed my little brother away. Like I was like, when I went to college, I was like, look, it got to a point where I barely graduated from high school, and I get to college, and it's like I'm about to drop out of college myself. So I took my mama back to her mom. I said, if I continue to take care of her, I will not be able to move on with my life. Lo and behold, I ended up dropping out that same year, and I even got sick. I got super sick from sleep deprivation for always doing stuff. And that's the first time I experienced like depression. Like it was bad. Like it was very similar to quarantine. Like I just knew my life like should have been better at 18. This is how I felt at 18. Meanwhile, here I am at 33, no job and no car. But anywho, I felt like things should have been better at that point. And not fast forward, at that same time as I'm driving to and fro Jackson, Tennessee, to Memphis in college, trying my best to stay in college. Like trying my best. Like I did not want to drop out. Like when I say I withdrew from classes the same day of the deadline, like that's how tight I was trying to stay. And like almost a week before that, I ended up getting in a car accident. Like could have died then. I was going to get something to eat. It had snowed the night before. No, it was sleeted. And that car slipped on some black ice, did a 360, hit a pole. The pole fell on top of the car. And I called my folks, because it was my mom's car. Called my folks. Mom's sick, grandma. First thing she asked about was not me. She said, how's the car? I was like, damn, like my family really don't care. They don't give a fuck about me. Like this shit is crazy. I was like, damn, like you asked about the car before you asked about me? Like, dang, like my family, like, sheesh. And like every time moments like that happen, I just never felt worthy, ever. And although God had given me the fruit of the Spirit, at a very young age, this shit hurt. Like it hurt terribly. Like terribly. So much so that it's like, it was hard for me to make friends. But in college, that's when I made my closest friends. And like, to this day, like, I love y'all. Like, oh, I'm finna cry again. Sorry. Thank y'all for being around and sticking around despite my horrid ways. Of course, it was learned behavior. And you all stayed around, and I thank you. But yeah, eventually they caught up with me and I had to drop out. And I stayed with an aunt who charged me rent. She charged me $300 a month to stay with her, even though I was in need. And it was hard. It was hard to understand that, like, my family knew that I was in need, didn't have a job. Like, I had dropped out of college, could not work because I was going to and fro Jackson so frequently. And then I wrecked my car, so I couldn't drive to work. So I stopped working. And my aunt charged me. She started charging me $300 a month to stay with her, even though I was going through all this shit. I was like, dang. And my family really don't give a fuck about me. Like, shit crazy. It's crazy. Like, just thinking back. Like, dang, like, I was in college. 18. Freshman year. I just got in a car accident. Could have died. Knew my mom was super sick. She was dying. Like, shit weird. Like why was my family like that? I don't know. But I was closed off from the world. That was before like I had a phone. And because I was in college, my grandma was paying for it. For whatever reason, she stopped paying for it around that time. And like I had no contact with anyone. Like at all. I had to sneak and use my aunt's computer to get in contact with anyone. So I've had experience with being quarantined before this stuff happened. I found myself in interesting situations. That was the first time I just know if somebody said I committed suicide, they lying. Check into all of that. I've never wanted to commit suicide, but I didn't mind waking up in heaven. Like thoughts of, God, could you put me in a coma? Where I was like, I just wanted rest. By 18, like I had been working 5 years already. By 18, I've been working for a long time and I was already exhausted and just working all of these hours, 12-hour shifts. Like I just wanted rest and I just didn't want to worry about anything and anyone else for an extended period of time. So I was cool with a coma. And I even asked God, I was like, when I got in that terrible accident, I was like, God, why didn't you take me then? Like, I can't be here only to suffer. This is at 18, y'all. 18. I can't be here only to suffer. Like, you can't have me here only to go through all this bull. And like I just had an energy of just being solemn. I was very melancholy, very nonchalant about a lot of stuff. Like I never got excited about anything. Easily jaded. Like I was like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? Why am I here? Not just at this event or facility, but why am I here on this earth? And that's when my relationship with God both was questioned and deepened. That's when I started going into the Bible and reading stuff. It's like, if God is so perfect, what happened to Adam and Eve? This, and this. Like I was going in, and like our relationship deepened, and I eventually got back into school. But when I got back, I got sick. I was diagnosed with thyroid issues. I was diagnosed with reproductive system issues. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis issues. So at 22, I was diagnosed with thyroid issues, I want to say hyperthyroidism, which you can still see. Like you still see it's kind of enlarged. No, I do not have an Adam's apple. No, I am not a man. But I had also been diagnosed with being infertile. Imagine being a virgin, having been molested young, being a virgin, and then being diagnosed as infertile at 22. Bruh, at that time I was like, look, after going through all this bullshit, I was like, y'all, I was like, I think it's about that time to go and have a whole phase. It's like I can't have kids anyway. Like, I just like, God, like, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? You just got me on this earth to go through bullshit, take care of motherfuckers that don't appreciate it, and then be sick myself. Like, no, really, why am I here? Why am I here? But fast forward years later, I eventually realized that I went through all of that just to help the many people who went through similar things, and to be able to let them know that they can overcome it. And I asked God, I was like, you really had me go through all this just to help somebody or a group of people or a whole bunch of people? Like, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was, you couldn't, okay, all right. But I eventually accepted it. And I just don't know. After being sick and having to drop out of college for the second time and go through my series of depression and feeling unworthy, unfulfilled, questioning my reasons of being here, I eventually graduated. Like, I boo-hooed crying when I graduated, like sobbed. And it seems like I go through the most shit to graduate. I have to go to the news to graduate from college, and then, I went to the news to graduate from high school because my English teacher didn't believe that I was taking care of a sick parent. Meanwhile, now niggas are posting about a kid taking care of their elders, and they getting a million likes and shit. And the whole time, like, this been my whole life. Like, damn, like, nigga been cooking since 2. You can see little kid cooking some food and then feeding their little brother and they old grandma. That's been me the whole time. But I just didn't brag about it because I didn't feel like anyone gave a fuck. Family didn't, so it's like, why should y'all? But yeah, like, I never got recognition for anything that I've ever done. Like, I never felt appreciated. Oh, I'm gonna cry again. I never felt appreciated, and it was just like a life of motherfucking turmoil. Like, fuck, like, what else I gotta go through? Like, and why did I ask that question? Because more shit happened, and I would pray for patience, and then more shit will happen, and I would pray for strength, and then more bullshit will happen. And I'd be like, God, what more do you want from me? And I'd be like, after a while, I just stopped asking. But each time I overcame some type of obstacle or trial or tribulation, I became stronger and more wise in why things happened and how they happened, and how I help others go through deliverance with my testimony, or how those circumstances literally made me stronger. Like, it gave me more patience. It gave me strength. It gave me whatever it was I asked for, even though it was like in a form of like hella tests and trials. It's like shit. But yeah, after a while, I just stopped asking for certain things because I knew it would show up as a test or something like that. But he still, whatever I was supposed to go through, like, of course I go through it. And after a while, I became a stronger individual. But to this day, I don't know why I'm here. I've asked God for my purpose. Why am I here? He just, have me going through these interesting situations. And he brings his children to me, those individuals that are part of my ministry. And I try to help as best I can, even though I don't want to, because I be dealing with my own shit. And I try to do it as best I can. It's very unorthodox. Like, I be cussing and some more shit. I be like, look now, shit. I don't fucking know. But God got you. Like, he got you. Like, real shit. And that's how my talks be going. And for whatever reason, like, people gravitate to it, they listen to it, they receive it. But I really be going through some bullshit while helping people through their bullshit. And people don't think I be going through bullshit. Like, somebody literally depressed, in a bout of depression, I just checking on someone, and they were like, super super sad. Like the violins was playing in the background as they were talking to me, and it was like, yeah, I lost my job, and then like my car ain't working, and I was like, bro, my shit was stolen. I still ain't got no car, and that was 2 years ago, and I lost my job for the third time. Like I was laid off. I'm grown as shit, but here we are. And I help them go get through it. Like just like remain positive. It's all about mindsets and moving forward and knowing where your help come from. No, despite how crazy things look, knowing that God got you and that His divine purpose will manifest despite how difficult it look. And like just be you. Be you. Try not to get lost in the hustle and bustle of life and societal driven goals, like hurrying up to graduate just to get married, just to buy a house, and just to work until you die. Nah, I ain't never been that normal. I don't know. I find myself doing what I want to do, and whatever it is that my heart desires. Like, I know God put that there, so I'm not stressed. Like, if I want to travel, I'm gonna travel. I can make plans with friends to travel. If you don't want to do it, I'm gonna go without you. Like, this is something that I want to do. If you're there, fine. I will enjoy that situation with you. But if you don't want to go, bro, I'm not waiting on you. I'm leaving. But learning all of these things growing up until now, and overcoming all these things up until now, even at 33. People tell me all the time that I don't look it, but even at 33, about to turn 34 tomorrow. I'm finna cry again. I thank God for every lesson. For every lesson. For every lesson learned. For every obstacle. For every obstacle overcome. For every no. For every yes. I still thank him regardless. I thank him for the people that he's brought in my life. I thank him for the people that he's taken out of my life. I thank him for the time spent with those individuals, regardless of how the relationship ended. I thank him for it all. I thank him for it all. I wouldn't change anything. I love the person that I've become in these 33 years. It's made me a stronger individual, a better friend, better woman, sibling, hopefully eventually wife and mother. I try to walk in the footsteps of Christ daily. I try to die to myself daily. I try to keep the question of the song, with your heart and soul say yes, in my mind. And I ask myself every day, if he told me what he really needed from me, will I still say yes? And yes, I will. Despite how hard life is. I witnessed so many miracles in my life. So many. My little brother being healed from autism. My mom getting 2 kidney transplants. Me still being alive all of the times I could have died. Being shot. Terrible car accidents. Falling from high heights. Being ill, sleep deprived. A COVID-19 twice. And I'm still here. So yes. My heart and soul say yes. And if he really told me what he needed from me, yes, I would still say yes. Because I know he'll be right beside me when I'm doing it. So at 33, my last day, much like Christ, I humbly continue to take up my cross daily. Die to myself daily and allow God to direct my path. I thank him for everything. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with me. I still don't know why I went through half the shit I went through. From molestation to being a caregiver at 5 and 16, paying all the bills, 16 to 18, overcoming depression at 33. Just overcoming so much. And being a representation for so many. Like, despite having been molested young, I did not use it as an excuse to be promiscuous. I did not use it as an excuse to just, I thought about it. I thought about going through a whole phase, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, so, God, where my husband at, you know what I'm saying? It's about that time, But I never fell into that, because I knew it was the work of the enemy. But I thank him for it all. And I look forward to 34 and beyond. But those issues that I went through up until now, I put it on the cross. And I surrender it all. I can't let it hold me back anymore. 2021 will be the year of atonement, redemption, and renaissance. I will reap what I sow or have sown. I will get back everything that was taken from me. And I will live the life that God has planned for me. And I look forward to helping others see life the same way. I've reached a critical juncture in my life. Where Pharaoh and his armies are behind me. My destiny is before me. But the obstacle that's between me and getting to my destiny was telling my testimony. The most embarrassing story that I could ever tell. The Red Sea.